Okay. Don't need to kill it anyway. They're also like not gonna just insta-tap one-shot me because this build isn't as squishy as the Deadeye was. The defensive mods associated with Headhunter are still decent. Oh! Oof, okay. All right, I'm very sad. I had high hopes for this, but I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it at all. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason I didn't sell the Deadeye first. And I was like, nah, I have to like scrape the bottom of the barrel and use all my currency to build this without selling anything from the Deadeye. Because if I sell from the Deadeye, then I'm fucked. Hello, YouTube. Welcome back. This is Bela Mage again. And today we have a failed attempt that I spent way too much money on. In the background here, you're seeing a Corrupting Fever champion. Now, I want to be pretty clear. The Corrupting Fever champion build on its own, still a fantastic build. Super tanky, moderate DPS, but still enough DPS to be fine. Decently quick. And just really overall super fun to play. The problem came because this is my second attempt at making a full MF character that doesn't die. The hopeful part here was that doesn't die. I want to be running wandering path trees with 8 mod corrupted maps that are quite juicy and still not die. Now the idea of this is that I'm not sticking to any budget. Like I'll spend anything I need to spend, any ridiculous amount of money. I want to try and find a way to full MF as a solo player that doesn't die. And that's where this build fell short. It was able to clear my 8 mod corrupted maps. It is able to go around, and it was much cheaper than the Deadeye variant. This is a lot cheaper to run. Honestly, for just the price of my MF wand, I was basically able to build this character from head to toe. But there's nothing more I could put into it. And unfortunately, it still dies. And it still dies too often for me to be happy. So I did learn a few things trying to build this character. I learned a few interesting things trying to build this character. And what I will do is show you. So let's jump in game. All right, here's my character in game doing some Petrified Blood stuff. Between Petrified Blood and the Progenesis, this 2.3k life we've got here that's available, actually pretty tanky. Not quite tanky enough for what I want, but it's pretty tanky. But I found 2 things that were exceptionally special about this build. One, this particular number, 6,300. Gives me some really cool things. I originally was just going to use something to get a little bit of rarity and ignore attribute requirements so that I could keep my attributes right down. But what I found was this Elegant Hubris, which gives me 40% rarity on this node, which is a node I needed to take anyway to get my RMR. 40% rarity on this node, and 80% chance to avoid shock right here, which I haven't taken yet, but I was going to if I kept leveling. This was going to let me replace Purity of Elements with Pride and get 20% more damage, which would be about 20 to 40% depending, which would be quite juicy for no travel nodes for these two at all, and nodes I was going to take anyway because I had to get the Mana Mastery from here. Between just those, that is an insane value elegant hubris. Absolutely insane. And the other thing that I found was a jewel I have never used before that some other people were using that I thought was really interesting, and I might continue to take that with me to some other builds in the future. With flasks up right now, I have 71,000 armor, which is insane. And a lot of that is coming from this energized armor. This is a jewel we've all seen before. I've never used before. I didn't realize how strong it would be in exactly this one spot. In exactly this one spot, it is quite a bit of armor. I go from 58 to 71 from just that jewel on its own, because the increases and reductions to energy shield transform to apply to armor at 200% their value. These are hybrid armor ES nodes, and these are hybrid armor ES nodes, and they both make it in. So these end up being 18, 20%, and 42% with some reduced damage from crit. And then these end up being 18% and 35 with 8 all res. So that's actually pretty damn efficient. So I will be filing that little jewel away for good knowledge for other builds when I want to get just a truckload of armor for very little investment. But otherwise, I do have to say I would suggest this build as a non-MF build to people. It is very, very, very strong when you add, instead of 4.1k life, you can end up pretty comfortably with 5.8 to 6k, which petrify bloods to 3,000 instead of 2,300. And you get a ton more of just everything, because all of the quant pieces basically just take away power from the build. And unfortunately for me, that's not helped. That's not helped at all. So what I will do is also show you how much damage I had. All right, so here's a path building. My favorite part is that these jewels are now actually shown in path of building. That's a relatively recent change, but as you can see, significantly tankier than my last MF attempt, with 110k effective life with flasks up, and a 20,000 max fizz hit with 44,000 max on 42 to 44,000 max on everything else. Significantly tankier than my last version of MF. Still not tanky enough, but significantly tankier. So we're heading in the right direction, but I'm still not happy with it. We do also have 56 life gain per hit, which is just a lot for kinetic blast hits. They hit a ton. So recovery is also through the roof. So that's real nice. My recovery is around about, I don't actually know what if that's represented anywhere here. But what I can tell you is that if I spend my 2,200 life and I have 50 left and I attack once into a very, very, very small pack, I'm full. If it's a single mob, it'll take a few hits. If there's just a tiny pack, full instantly. So recovery's good. Unfortunately, total damage is only about 2 mil. I knew that was going to be the case going in. I didn't know what the exact number was, but I knew it was going to be less overall damage than the kinetic blast deadeye that I tried. Unfortunately, it just didn't hold up on not dying ever, which was the plan. So we're going to call it an MF failure, and I'm going to move on to the next idea. So that is it, and I will see everybody later. Goodbye.